Aha, we're on. Hello YouTube family. Hello all family, but this one's a going live video to YouTube, so I'm tight for time, so the penny's only just dropped that if I go live I don't have to record it and then upload it. It's already done now, isn't it? So genius moment has occurred. I've published a document recently. It's called A Message to All Humankind. In the line of work that I'm in and with what I'm doing at the minute and what's happening in the Facebook group, I get asked quite a lot my opinion or interpretation about the current commercial, global, political, spiritual realm that we're in, how I see it. People ask me, who is it that's controlling? I don't know who's controlling. There seem to be a lot of people controlling a lot of things, and which one of those things has got the highest order and the element of control? Well, that's up for debate. We are highlighting quite a lot of things that are, you know, raising a lot of scary questions. But firstly, I want to apologise to you all for the lack of coverage on the seminar for the 29th. The Wi-Fi was extremely poor. I did try to go live using my data. You saw how long that lasted, 1 minute and 40 seconds. So a big disappointment there for us, because the technology didn't live up to what it should have, its specifications and capabilities. We are going to have the Wi-Fi right next to us next time for broadcast, so that's some solace there that it will be improved. We have got another day organised for the 2nd of September for Exit Babylon Part 2. What else? So yeah, I've written this. It took me 6.5 hours. It's double-sided, and you've got 10 pages. 10 pages, 5,000 something words. So what I need to reiterate is, this is my interpretation, the inner workings of. I've rinsed my brain out the other day, and it's here, basically. So it will encompass quite a lot of strange, weird and varied elements and notions, and perhaps ideologies, as the way I see it at the minute, and the way that it has been presented throughout history, we'll say. So bear that in mind. Anybody that's an ancient geologist, or, you know, ancient aliens or sacred geometry fan and stuff like that, with Santos Bonacci, or the workings of Sitchins, or the Dead Sea Scrolls, or the Dogon tribe, or you know, all these kind of crazy suppressed technologies that we've got, the Anunnaki and the Nephilim, all of the archaeology and the suppressed archaeology and the ancient finds and the you know, the scriptures and the books, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, interesting, Sumerian, Babylonian, you know, we've looked at it all. We're not just picking up on a little thing. So let's go. Message to all humankind. Are you ready? The present global situation at hand, it is truly shocking in terms of what we have to reconsider about what we already know, about who controls us, our resources and our universe. The way the world seems to be so wrong in all areas of our daily lives, and the fact that humanity is on a cannibalistic self-destruct mission right now. Let's move you along. Which way? There we go. You're going to fall. After our recent seminar on the 29th of July, we have had some amazing and some fantastic topics mentioned. Let me put you here. That's better for the mic. In addition to law and statutes, you guys are very, very wise, and are also asking a lot of questions surrounding our world, the commerce, the politics, the church, the religion, quantum mechanics, science, and you're asking for help and our thoughts about this ideology. I mentioned the intervention with regards to freedom and democracy. You're going to hear that word a lot, intervention. Pardon me. After watching the 3 videos entitled The Golden Web, I have now written this body of words to try and explain how I now see the big picture. This isn't comprised totally of the Golden Web. This is just after watching the Golden Web. Some penny dropping moments went in when they teach you about phonetics, the language, the history of Langu age, gods, monsters, ages, and how it's built up, who built it up, how old it is, what Babel is. You know, that kind of insightful knowledge that some people that are interested in the languages find insightful. So briefings are mentioned throughout this article. These are not one-on-one briefings. These are various briefings we receive through any and all channels we monitor all we can. For example, crop circles, UFO sightings and media releases, disclosures, suppressed technology, Freedom of Information Act, Freedom of Information request, subject access request, witnesses, reports, the Vatican's announcements to humanity over the ages, one of them being motu proprio, amongst other declarations across, time. Zachariah Sitchin's work, lost books such as Enki and Enoch, the Dead Sea Scrolls, Nikola Tesla's work, Jack Fresco's work, Eric Dollard's work, Edgar Cayce, the Sleeping Prophet, absolutely fantastic. You need to look at him. Documented, evidenced, over 8,000 cases for Edgar Cayce, the Sleeping Prophet. Edward Leedskelly, he built a coral castle in the 1950 summer, and he based it on the way that the Egyptians built the pyramids, and he used megalithic blocks. So again, one man on his own, no power tools, no cranes, and search Edward Leedskelly and Coral Castle. The Dogon tribe, that in itself is just a head mess. That really does just break everything you taught down. You forget everything and you relearn, and many, many more. So, allies I mentioned and referenced. These are again, as above, from many and various collective agencies and offices, platforms and networks. No one name can or will be given. No, we have allies in high places. So you've got intervention, briefings and allies. These are the common words I'm going to refer to. Our crops and food contain chemicals and poisons. Monsanto, payday. We are burning, and Cargill, don't forget them, we are burning fossil fuels instead of using 0-point energy or cleaner and greener energy. HHO dry cells, for instance. We are poisoning the planet, the environment and the animals. Fukushima has poisoned all the sea life. The monetary system is financially crippling us, and our generations to come will be born into debt, securitized and bonded via non-disclosed contracts at the point of registration with the General Officer, GRO and State, the General Registry Office. RFID chips and treasury accounts are being implemented and have been proven methods of slavery and control. The physical element of cash is being removed, and the next stage of the game of life has started. There is an intervention taking place on our behalf, in law and in our social community via commerce. This ties in the commerce and the law and the UCC, Maritime Admiralty, non-disclosure, TDA accounts, birth certificates, so all capital Dominicus names and stuff, the Vatican's involvement, so bear with me. Our present universe seems to be governed by nature and natural laws of physics, unmovable in their forces. Time and space, for example, the laws of attraction, polarity, resistance, and the cause and effect. No one has been able to overcome nature. Now, this is very important because we think that technology has no end and it can replace all the constraints of nature. It is made very clear that the more advanced a race is technologically, the greater its need for resources. The more it has to be engaged in complex arenas of trade, and the more it has to be uniform and undemocratic. And the more it is actually vulnerable to having access to what it needs from the greater community. You're going to hear that a lot, greater community. When I say the greater community, I mean people that haven't presented themselves, that have got higher intelligence and technology than what we have. And whether that be people from the centre of the earth, whether that be people that have come from a different dimension, whether that people that have come down on a spaceship and landed here, it's irrelevant, it doesn't matter. The fact is, there's some shady stuff going off on this planet and we've got lots of evidence for it. So this greater community, it exists in the form of mediums, of telepathics, of psychics, of all the stuff we've already seen and that we're already following. Half of the channels and videos that you guys have put up. It's insane. So yeah, the greater community, bear that in mind because there is one. And we live in a highly populated part of the universe where there is a lot of frontier, where there are very strict rules of trade. There is a great deal of control over territory. It is not the Wild West out there. It is not free for our taking. War has been suppressed in this region of space. Conquest is suppressed. So if you want to gain influence over another world or land, country, nation, you have to do this by other means, and believe you me, the other means have been well and truly cultivated over the ages to a very high degree. We're talking about persuasion and deception. And here we are, the native peoples of the world, thinking we're in the centre of the universe, and that if anyone would come to visit us, that they would come to help us, most naturally. Come to save us. Friends. Alien friends. Sorry, I'm trying to stick to the narrative. Most naturally, because we are so important to the cosmos, and you know, we of course want higher technology because we want power. In the last 25 years, say 50, but 25, yeah, have you not marvelled as information technology has surged forward? The world has grown smaller because now we've got greater connectivity and technology. We have problems on Earth that we cannot seem to deal with though. Global problems, simple, resource depletion, climate change, political corruption. There is a growing dissonance between nations over whom have access to the remaining resources. In addition to cognitive dissonance that we get with the law and the indoctrination and the cognitive dissonance, look at your cognitive and your recognitive. You recognise and you cognise things in your brain. So look at your cognitive, your cognising. Just a few examples. So we feel very needy of help, and so the Allies' briefings make it very clear that those who are in the world today will present themselves as agents of change and beneficial change for humanity and the world. It's deep stuff, isn't it? The world cannot be militarily overtaken, as it will destroy and spoil its value. None of the other races visiting our world can live here because of Earth's biological hazards, so they require human assistance. They need us to use the planet in the way they want it used. In reference to people asking me, why is the world run the way it is? Why are we burning fossil fuels? Why are we burning petrol? Why are we killing the planet? Why are we chopping down the rainforest? Why are the whales dropping up dead? What's happening with the, you know... It's the humanity in the world, these global problems, yeah. We could get together, the United Nations, we've put bodies and people in place to deal with this, but they don't deal with it. They on purposely mess it up. So, yeah, the planet needs to be used in the way they want it to be used, which is a way that we think is foreign, but in a way that they see is right. So we're saying, hey up, the ice is melting, it's getting warmer every day, it's grey in England, it's grey everywhere else, we don't get any sunshine anymore, the food's not growing, the animals look sick, we're not very happy, everything's just stressed and ruined and non like it was when I was a child, even 20 years ago. So there's been massive changes and things aren't getting done in the way they should be. People set a charity up, take out 50 million and give somebody 50 pence, and we like, it's insane. All of it's insane, so bear with me. That's why I make comments like that, because there's the only one thing that you could say, that humans aren't running this show, because if we was, surely we wouldn't be doing this. We're not as clean and green as we seem to want it to be. We're not in harmony with nature. And they will even use all of our infrastructure. The reason that this is new and not ancient is that because only in the latter part of the 20th century have we created an infrastructure that foreign races can utilise. The native peoples couldn't do anything for them in the ages. The earlier the world's visited throughout its history, there have been many attempts to colonise the planet, all failed due to the biohazards. Now we've got evidence of those on the YouTube channels, on my playlist. Go and look at the Dogons, for instance, for that. There's evidence. I think the Allies' intention is to warn us that there are different races and beings here, and they are all part of the intervention, and that they are competing groups here in the world, and they are multiracial, so we may see them in different forms, and they can certainly project forms. I don't mean that mysteriously like David Icke, reptilian shape-shifting and stuff like that. I mean that with technological reference. I mean they project images, holographic, into our environment, and they will use our aspirations and greed, our corruption, our uncertainty, our insecurity to establish the importance. And certainly, even at this point, they have enough human representatives and apologists in the world that will promote their importance and the idea that the human race cannot make it on its own. That our leaders are incorrigible, our institutions are too flawed to be redeemed, and that, see, it's happening already, I can't just stick to the path, and that we must have their health and their brilliance and even their spiritual enlightenment, because Christianity is failing now, isn't it? In order to redeem ourselves. It never even got started, as George Carlin said. Christianity, great idea. When is it starting? But what's going on here? Things are happening. Real Talk Farm messages. I didn't know you could do that on here. Stop it. We're sidetracking. I'm only on page 2 of 10. I'm I'm trying to speak slowly. Even their spiritual enlightenment in order to redeem ourselves and to take care of our world in the way that we might aspire to. Now, what are we to do? We don't understand is what constrains the intervention. People say, well, if they want the place, they should just come and take it. Well, if people aren't taking this planet by force, and we've seen now, if you just go on YouTube and put in 2017 top UFO footage, then go 2016, after you've watched 500 of them and you can see they're clearly not fake, you realise there's something going on. Whether they're spirits, angels, demons, dimensional entities, there's some crazy shit going up, but yeah, there is, up in the sky. There's evidence and proof of that, and there's NASA proof, you know, the documentation, where it comes from. Back in the day when I was a kid, and it was 1991, and there was, you know, 5 channels, then you had to be, you know, wary of it. But now we've got it in such an amazing torrent of information that we're overloaded with it. And it's coming out of our ears. There's been disclosures, not only that, the disclosures that the government, the CIA, that NASA have made. It's not so much, you know, we haven't got any evidence. It's now we've got too much and we can't tell which is just the one to look at and which is the one to ignore. People say if they want the place. Well, if they are not taking it by force, whomever is in global control at present are not taking it by force, meaning they are probably not violent and they are probably not here to harm us in any way. But see, there are so many missing pieces to our puzzle that we cannot add, that I think the briefings are an attempt to add in the most clearest and lucid manner possible. I mean, your 10-year-old could really read The Allies of Humanity and get it, okay? You know, what I'm saying is, when we get our heads together and we network and we connect and we go on the domains and we share and we research and we analyse and we cross-reference, it isn't that hard. Once you see the links, you're like, oh my God, it's there in front of you. It's easy to see. The Georgia Guidestones, it's easy to see. It's just, there's too many, so... lucid. I mean, your 10-year-old could read The Allies of Humanity and get it, okay? So it does not require a highly sophisticated notion of dimensions or dimensionality or spiritual dimensions or political stupus in order to read the Allies' briefings and realise what they are telling us. They are telling us that you are facing a subtle invasion and that they are not here to destroy you, but to utilise you and your environment. We have seen this firsthand via proxy of the Lee-Gal system. Lee is French for the, Gal is for Gaul, the Gaul system, the Gaul of them. The intentional misleading of our fellow womb men. We see and fight a corrupt system every day. Just watch Euronews, for instance. Euronews kills it. Oh, honestly, see, look, why did I say that? Euronews doesn't kill it. Euronews is very good and accurate, and it shows you lots of horrific stuff that you don't get on the normal TV, that isn't intentionally misleading you into a false sense of security. So you go to work and carry on grinding. This is only one tentacle of the many arms that they have bonded us and enslaved us and trussed us up with. Passages from the Christian Bible tell us how they intend to manage the ones that are in sin, the ones without eyes to see and ears to hear. And all I can say is, get out of Babylon, my people, if you don't want to share in her with her sins. Yes, it's not a sovereign one. I am the monkey prince. I am just a monkey, aren't I? Monkey to the system. Passages from the Christian, they will use our strengths and our weaknesses and your adaptability to this world and system which they do not possess in order to establish their own agenda here. We know about agendas. Just type in agenda, see what number you want to pick and have a read of them. And they've published agendas. That's a sad thing. I can direct you to the Agenda 21 and everything now. The agenda of the government. So all they can do that is through genetic and social manipulation. But even genetic manipulation is very time-consuming task and extremely difficult. That is why the intervention has taken a very slow pathway. It just so happens to be the most effective way to ingrain yourself in the consciousness, in the biological reality. There are no names given in the Allies' briefings. They do not describe, so this is for the shills, before you ask me and before you go and put the comments in, they do not describe in names the races that are already here or that pre-existed here before we was modified, if we was modified, depending on your take of that. Anunnaki and Planet X, Nibiru. My mind's a crazy place, I tell you. Because it would be meaningless for us to know the names, or it could certainly generate a lot of fantasy and speculation, which is what you're all good at there, not tangible facts and evidence and historical things like what we work on. What is important to know is that those that are in our world today are resource explorers. Yeah, and they are working beneath the rules or around the rules of engagement, our rules of engagement, the humanity's rules of engagement that are established in our region of space in order to have access to our world. If it appears to outside, wait there people, if it appears to outside observers that their presence here is not resisted or denounced, and that they have within the rules of engagement within our region of space, that they can be here without setting off alarms with their competitors or establishing an official oversight problem. The official oversight is there's no government ruling the universe, but there are governments ruling trade, and trade rules everything, even us. Commodity, UCC, maritime. Yeah, you're learning that, you know it, most of you know it now. For advanced nations that are interdependent with one another, and UCC stretches out to the seas of space, so they claim. It's not just our souls, it's not just our children and our children's souls, but they've claimed that it stretches out to the seas of space in their insanity. Who would do that? Hello? Yeah, look at that. Look at Bonum Sanctum, Bonum Unct Sanctum. 1603, Bonum Sanctum or something like that. The Pope, look at the declarations of the Vatican and the Church over the ages. And this is where control is demonstrated. Statute codes, consent. Whenever I talk about this, I kind of have to paint a picture in the background, because the picture is very difficult than what most people would ever dream of today. Put your seatbelts on. We either think that the off-planet intelligences are very demonic or very angelic. Thank you Spielberg, Hollywood and Disney, to name but a few. We think there are good ones and bad ones, good guys out there that will help us, and the bad guys are not going to help us. The briefings themselves kind of set the record straight that in order to create an unambiguous situation on Earth, those potential groups who are visiting at earlier times are not here because we do not have the ability to discern, or the subtlety or the insight to discern friend from foe. You cannot tell an ally from an adversary unless you are very skilled in the mental environment, very intuitive and very, very insightful. Literally a seer. This is also applicable in the legal arena, as we also find it with a secret language of legalese, with the infiltration of a corporation that's based in London, Greater London, that's of its own jurisdiction, that has its own postcode and police. So whereas I'm speaking about galactic things and stuff about the realms of which you're not familiar to, unless it's Star Wars, Star Trek and things like that, these rules of engagement and what I'm speaking about are applicable across many formats, and like the art of war, these are mental tactics, physical tactics, political tactics, human tactics, dissonance, cognitive. It's a massive thing what I've done here, and I hope you enjoy it. Wow, it's going to be about an hour. Because they are presenting themselves as the saviours of humanity, and in the background they seem to be taking people and never returning them. We've even seen a hovering cow. That hovering cow is immense. That's got to be fake. Search YouTube for the cow abduction, where it disappears in the sky. And also the stories and stuff and the tapes and the government releases that have been now released about the abductions, about more so than the McPherson tapes and the Close Encounters of the Third, the Fourth and the Fifth, where people, it's unbelievable. So saviours of humanity in the background, they seem to be taking people and never returning them. Look at how many children go missing in England every week, man. Just from London, it's disgusting. How that many children can go missing and are going missing and can't be found is again just more numbers that we deal with and that we shouldn't be dealing with. I believe that they are building a new kind of man, a mankind, not to replace us, but to determine our direction. Those individuals that are being prepared to be in the world are here to advise the leaders. You're psychic, you're powerful, and you're brilliant. You can recognize them if you have eyes to see, if you have ears to hear. But most people still have not recognized them. Just like in that film, it's a cult Hollywood film called They Live, where he puts some glasses on. When he puts the glasses on, he could recognise what's happening. He could see a secret world. He could see the advertising. He could see the elite actual mantras in the words. They are not in positions of leadership either. They are unaccountable to the public. You will rarely see them on camera. We have seen them glimpses at certain events, but you won't see them. They're not there in the public eye. This is how an intelligent race gains ability and influences and control without the people knowing it. This is also, when I say race, applicable to country, land, occupancy, invader, foreign, alien, national. We are illegal aliens when we are not part of a country and sworn into it, like taking the oath. So whilst ever you're on a visa, you're classed as an alien here. So the word alien shouldn't be that alien to you, especially if you've grown up with all the films that I've grown up with. They've induced it into our brains. So yeah, control without the people knowing it. Large nations have become involved with networks of trade and have great influence over each other. Gas, Russia, China, hello. And it is a very competitive environment. The universe, our universe, that we are going to have to deal with. It isn't a big frontier with a load of uninhabited Earths out there that we can just go and migrate to when we have completely used up this one. And this reality is a very competitive reality, and so the skill and the mental environment, the skill and persuasion and the skill of the seers, the skill of things that we might hold to be very spiritual but have now been used or are used in a very mundane and even invasive way, are used a great deal. Once the rules are established, everyone figures out a way to skirt around them or to operate within them. Let's just talk about offshore tax havens, or the companies that are registered in the United Kingdom's corporation that should be paying tax to the Treasury. They're using offshore accounts for head offices that are obviously not paying the money to the Treasury, and if they did actually stop using these legal tax loopholes, Treasury taxes that are directed offshore to tax haven, including Jersey, which is a UK monarchy tax haven for those that aren't in the know, has got billions diverted there, while the NHS goes like this. Baby Charlie, oh, we can't fix baby Charlie, oh, what should we do? Who really owns the baby? Did you register it? Is this legal? What are we doing? You know what I mean? If you guys aren't waking up with what we're presenting to you and the material evidence right before your eyes on the TV, and it's just I want to cry. I want to cry for us all. So, and of course, whether you are like the young child that goes into the big city that we don't know anything about, the social and political reality of that metropolis, and it's our naivety and our innocence that makes us improbably endearing. I think you get this sense of endearment when you read the Allies, because basically we are very sweet actually, but they also indicate that some things we don't know, they could actually destroy us. Not having any idea of what the reality is beyond our solar system is a tremendous disadvantage, NASA. Where is the picture of Earth that isn't CGI composite? Why is there no pictures of the Earth? Why are we still scratching our heads? I haven't been up there. I don't know whether it's round or flat. I'd like to believe it would be round, as it is suited to my teachings, but something's telling me it might be like this, and it might have a dome on it, and there might be some more depth to this reality of what we have since come to learn. But the disadvantage of the solar system is a tremendous disadvantage, and so the forces in the world today are operating in a military sense, but they are currently infusing themselves into hierarchies of religion, government, and probably even more, specifically or more greatly in commerce. This is the complexity that gets really difficult, because I believe that different nations have been contacted by different groups, because I've seen all the different things that have happened. I've looked at the history, I've looked at the Stargates, I've looked at Iraq, I've looked at Syria, I've looked at Afghanistan, I've looked at Russia, I've looked at Australia, we've looked at Jamaica, Africa, we've looked at a lot. Yeah, and it seems that they've all had the same connectivity, but there's different things going off, different groups, if you want to call it, with different colours. We speak different languages. 7 is a special number. I'm not saying any more. If you want to gain ascendancy in the world and have your presence be the most trusted presence, then you have to weaken the strongest nations. And one of the ways to weaken a strongest nation is to engage it in interactable conflicts. Intractable. I'll post all this for you to read so you can see the definitions of the words, and you can actually see the body of it. Intractable conflicts, and then to begin to erode the confidence of its people in that nation. This is very much about persuasion and acceptance, okay? Brexit, Westminster attacks, Grenfell, fire, the wars, our foreign war policy, hospitals and failing public services, to name but a few. If I make this emphasis about war, I make this emphasis about war because our whole orientation to space is what? We think of space. Yeah, you got it. You're thinking of space in your mind. What you thinking of? Let's have a go. Hollywood and the industry elite have seen to that. Star Trek, The Final Frontier. Star Wars, War of the Worlds. Stargate. This is where we are coming from as a people. We think the universe is just a big battleground between empires and freedom fighters and all this kind of stuff. It's a total projection of our reality here on Earth. Yeah, but the truth is, we're facing a non-human universe, and that alone is enough to give you the chills. Just that concept, you need to grasp that and have it. That universe is nothing like us, but we are in it. We are facing a universe that does not value human values, and we are also facing a universe that, like every other creature, requires resources to live. It has laws, that's what I mentioned at the beginning, the natural laws that can't be moved. And it has to deal with competition and a provision, and it has to coexist with other universes. So an emergence into a greater community is an emergence into a much more sophisticated and complex environment, and we are going to emerge into this greater community because we can't stop it. We can't stop it happening. Not because we're going out and finding out what is out there and doing missions and stuff. It's because what is out there is coming here, it seems, and we've got evidence of it. And not all of what out there is coming here, but some of it, it seems, and we can prove, and we are debating now. Those that do, I'm being honest with you, people have asked my opinion, I'll give it. If you want it, it's here. Those that do not know of our existence, those that do know of our existence keep it a secret. The competitors and the greater community's teachings is that we are following a very normal path of self-destruction, that most races that become tech endowed begin to outstrip their world's resources, and you can think of all the Hollywood films where they've outstripped the world's resources there. Let's just have a little, yeah, and are usually engaged in the greater community, and think of the way they've portrayed it for you, not because of their explorations, but because the greater community arrives usually bearing or offering gifts with the secret clans of man, and that's how they get inducement. That is the inducement. Inducement is not just to be a conquered people because we would resist, as we are lawfully resisting now and committing civil disobedience and, you know, the like, objecting and following the rule of law and questioning our legal realm. And if we resist, they could not function here, and we would destroy the value of this world. But if we can submit, remember what the submit does in the legal realm as well, and what we're talking about with submit. And if our desires and ambitions can be enticed, then that's the best weapon there is. Make the enemy drop their weapons and join you according to the engagement you present. Here's a birth certificate. Get on the great citizenship. It's a lovely place to be. Now, we shall talk about the powers of influence. Even without an extraterrestrial presence, hey, so we're back onto normal stuff now. Most of you will be back to, you know, reality. Sorry to go a bit deep there, but that's what it involves. Without an extraterrestrial presence here today, we are starting to learn about the power of influence that has been established in most places in the world. It is not just about gunboat dependency anymore. A nation becomes dependent upon what you purchase from them or what you provide them. Yes, global economics, resource-based geopolitics. Look around, people. You know what's happening. So, then without changing their flag or language, you begin to determine the course of their destiny. You do not want to really occupy them, as that's way too expensive and difficult. You do not want them to resist you, as that is way too difficult, and that is beginning to give us the picture of how nations influence one another in a greater community. What's the greater community? The United Nations is there, is it not? Yes, we've got the one world order being talked about with the greater community. Well, it depends what greater community we actually want to see, doesn't it? And which one's going to come and what we allow to come in. But yeah, with a level of sophistication that is much higher and where the psychic abilities are much higher. So I always want to take this into a larger arena of life. Pardon me. We are here today for a purpose, each and every one of us. All these 19 viewers, people that have commented, the 4 likes that have gone up there. Certainly most people feel connected to the cosmos or nature or the creator in a way that they probably cannot express articulately. freaks my mind out. It freaks me out. The synchronicities is the way that I can express it. 11:11, all the stuff like that. I'm going to read your comments after because it's just going to get on. And you know me, guys, if you're a regular, I sidetrack Bob. And it's certainly going to be part of our collective and individual destiny. The fact that it is still barred from the social discourse doesn't diminish the fact that it is essentially important to our future and to what kind of world we are going to have. It is very muddy water, to say the least. It's proper cracked my coconut. And even the truth has been so solid, we have to look now at our relationship with this greater community. What is our relationship with this intervention? The whole universe is not intervening here. I mean, we are part of a much larger environment. We have reached puberty. We have come of age technologically. We are now subject to much greater interest and are seen to be destroying our planet. The wealth others would value, the biological wealth others would also be much interested in. You know, this is a barren place outside. You know, when I say resources, I'm not talking about coal or gases or the kinds of things that we think are really important. I'm talking about just step out of the box a minute. Stop thinking about money and petrol and gases and, you know, this kind. I'm talking about bio-elements, the soul, the spirit, the universe of barren worlds. Talking about blood and plasma of cellulose. I'm talking about the building blocks of life, the Higgs boson, for the, you know, these things that CERN's doing. Where we're actually at now is the peak. We have reached, not the peak because it's a joke, but we have got it, but it's not serving us. We're still enslaved and encapsulated. We're carrying the chains. We're weighed down. The bioelements in this universe of barren worlds, you know, the plasma, the blood, the building blocks of life. The Allies briefings say, you have no idea how important a tree is. It's so really important for us to get a greater community's perspective. If that is, you know, at all possible, please, if anybody can just step out and above and hear me out on these thoughts. And, you know, the greater community, you have no important. It's really important for us to get this perspective. Than simply projecting all of our values into space, which never really inform us of what we are truly dealing with, and that's what I think the Allies briefings and the greater community's teachings of the new message give us an opportunity to step out of this and to see the universe in a more prosaic manner, not a multi-dimensional, not in a way that is extremely subtle, but in a way that's manifest, because we have to deal with the manifest in law, manifest on the boat, manifest, you know, reality, before we can deal with the subtle reality. Example for you, I've given an example because I realise this is deep, and, you know, most of you will need to get the body of text and to see the words and to cross-reference and to, you know, analyse it, which you can do afterwards if I can fit all these 5,000 words onto one comment. If you're running out of money, or if you have a tumour in your side, or if you've just lost your house, that's a lot more important than our meditation practice for the day, agreed? So that is the manifest reality that we have to learn to deal with. And it's not as complex, and I don't feel as complex or mystical, because there's a level of confusion. A level of confusion is a big problem here, because there are different levels, and the levels present different kinds of things to us. But if we miss the fundamental levels, then we are the native peoples of the world encountering resource explorers that we know nothing about, whose intentions are never revealed, whose activities are surreptitious, whose impact upon its people is generally destructive and manipulative. Then we have to deal with, at that level, primarily, if we're going to be a free race in the future, if we fail to deal with it at that level, if we get lost in the dimensionality of this whole phenomena, which is big, massive, absolutely, we're going to sell out, or we're going to give the world away, yeah? We will do that. We will not have it taken away from us. It will be, you know, a stupid thing that happens. I've had so many nightmares and visions about scenarios and what's going off. And if we have a higher state of a mind state, the reality of knowledge, not information, knowledge, yeah, and wisdom, or book learning, or high school education, it's not going to work. Knowledge as a deeper mind, higher self, Christ self, Buddha self, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this mind operates beneath the surface of our worldly mind, or our intellect, which is pretty much totally conditioned and indoctrinated. Thank you for that. You are never going to totally recondition your personal mind. It is thinking how culture thinks. It is thinking according to our biological and social realities. It can think better. It can, because I've half-trained mine now, but I'm not there. Not by a long shot. We need monatomic gold, DMT, meditation, total, you know, extraction from all electromagnetic fields, raw food, organic diet. There's just no way you can repair. Not in this environment. So how culture thinks, it is thinking according to our biological and social realities. It can be better and can be valuable, but it is very, very ingrained, and I want to take knowledge from the religious realms, if I may. God botherers, Christians and stuff like that, you know, I respect religion, and you need to hear me out on this, because this is where the dissonance will come in with the word religion and God. So I did say, if I may, or the high spiritual realm, because there are so many things associated with it, and I want to bring it down into a kind of a consciousness baseline. Not a baseline like the niche that I used to, you know, spin, but we're going to go for a different baseline. I like my baselines. I was the baseline man. Proper booming. But instead of booming, what we're going to have here, we're going to go for a consciousness baseline. Yes, this is the well of what you know and what you can know, and your ability to know. This is a part of you that is connected to the Creator. This is your soul, not the part of you that is a living soul journeying through a manifest reality. Yes, maybe it's you like your electricity, the electric part of your soul. Somebody will have a name for this for me, like your Kundalini or something, is it? Yeah, so journeying through a manifest reality. This is a part of you that did not leave, that is not journeying through the manifest reality. It is going with you, but it's not on the journey with you, if you get what I mean there. That's a bit deep, but it is going with you, but it is not on that journey. This is the only part of us that cannot be manipulated by any worldly, extraterrestrial, interdimensional, anything. This is important, as this is the source of our strength and our integrity. This is why I am the way I am, because that little freaky bit there is evidently apparent and, you know, active in me, more so than others. And our ability to see, if that does not become the emphasis of an evolving humanity, then we will succeed in mass. We will be seduced in a way we never thought we would be seduced. So look at what's happened with Heather and the TDAs. People have been seduced there a little bit. That was seduction. And how we will be seduced is being by offered what we want, in which is most deceptive form of seduction there is, offering something what they want. Yeah, you're starving, do you want some food? Well, if you take this food, you're going to have an RFID chip, aren't you? What? The Red Cross? Beauty, wealth and power are part of that, certainly. And we are very primed for it, or the world and the globe over. I mean, as the world becomes more disorderly, as resource depletion continues, as nations become more fractious to one another, and we are certainly able to make our own world, by the way. We do not need help from beyond to do that. We are very good at it. We have been doing that for a very, very long time. The wars that we become engaged with, particularly in larger powers, do have a purpose for the interventions. If the only nations that could really rally the world are weakened sufficiently via intractable conflicts, and if the 2 or 3 strongest nations in the world are repitched in opposition to each other, or that's fortified, there will never be a consensus here. And that does not take as much intervention as what you might think, because everything that happens that we do is a result of our decision making, and what influences our decision making is what informs our decisions, and this is where the power of knowledge becomes centrally important. That in itself is massive. This is why spirituality is not just a wondrous place to be. Oh, hippies and flowers and you know, chilling out and not caring. No, spirituality is not just a wondrous place to be or to escape into, or a coping mechanism for coping with a harsh and incomprehensible world. But spirituality will in turn become the traction, the glue, yeah, for really being powerful here, insightful and beyond persuasion, beyond doubt, yes. And this is the part of us amongst the other parts of us that we need to develop. That is very core to our success, in my view. Do not get any assist. Oh, the Allies briefings talk about the power of knowledge. The Allies briefings talk about this. The power of knowledge, the greater power in the universe. The intervention is not using it, or they wouldn't be here. At that level, you can see this clearly is not a mystery, because if they keep it a mystery, it is then part of the deception. We're going to keep the soul inexplicable, and as such, they think we will never get it, and it's Magnus in a way. It keeps the adventure going. Like, this is an adventure of the consciousness, a study. Well, that's one of my lines of thoughts anyway. Holographic universe, the Matrix realities coming out in here, and the videos that we've done recently with regards to our statuses, and it's just mental, isn't it? So this is a contribution of the talk that we've done recently, my inner feelings, the whole contribution of all the the films and the videos that are on our channel, every scripture and passage and article and bill, and things that we've written and comprehended, the legal, the lawful, the quantum, the spiritual, the ancient. It's just truly is chicken oriental, an adventure of consciousness, or the reality of what we're in. Yeah, like when you get deja vu as well, the things that come with that. Yeah, so whenever I've spoken to groups of people and talked about the Allies briefings as general and as compassionately as I can, I mean, the resistance is tremendous, because it's like I am taking people's parades away from them, like taking the lollipop or the candy away from the baby, depriving them of this really exciting thing that is going on in life, and then rendering it to another chore that they have to deal with in life, another fact of life, another tangible, rather than it being intangible and a lot of hearsay surround it and a lot of non-fact. So we're factualising. That's it. And people don't like it when you factualise something that's been a legacy to them in the mind, because then it's like, you see what I mean? There's a lot of resistance to that. I like to talk a little about the Creator, as the Creator is part of this. And there are spiritual beings with the spiritual origin and spiritual destiny. And I think our spirituality is actually one of the core strengths of humanity in this universe of highly technological and secular worlds which predominate in our region of space. We do not need to look for other races to spiritually enlighten us. We actually have the materials to do that ourselves. And we have done very well in keeping the mystery alive here. When it has died in many other places, when I talk about the Creator, I am not talking about our various belief systems in ultimate power. And of course, whenever the word God is mentioned, people run into their dissonance about religion and oral issues about religion, or going into organised religion and so forth. Except to say that the thing that is going to enable humanity to enter into this greater community as a free and self-determined race is going to have a lot to do with our spirituality. And I do not mean our spiritual belief or the subtleness of our spirituality. I am talking about the part of us that is connected to it firmly and immutably, because if that is the only part of us that cannot be manipulated by any worldly or otherworldly force, then that represents the source of our wisdom and our strength and the unity with each other, because in facing an intervention with the greater community, we are certainly facing an adversary that we are unaccustomed to, and we do not really know how to discern very well. And I do not think that anyone in the government, alarm, really knows how to discern it either. I don't think there is a secret group that's got all the cards on the table, and they're being influenced as well. So it comes down to what people see and know, and their responsibility within themselves and to others. And this is what enables the native race to rally and to begin to question at the outset the meaning and value of this. If we are hungry for technology from beyond the world, which is part of the inducement, then it is a liquor for the native scenario for sure. If we want others to come and rescue us, that will be accommodated. Project Blue Beam. If we want an overseer in the world that is not human, that will be provided. Yeah, they will create something and put it in front of us and say, you know, this is what's happened. We've now got to bow down to, you know, overlord, overseer, whatever. We really have to grow the FC UK up and start to be responsible. We're going to enter this greater community. You can't have a nation run by tribal conflicts and warring nations. And so in adversity, here's the opportunity. The intervention and the breakdown of the environmental stability are the two things that can prompt humanity to unite in its own defence. It has to be that powerful to overcome our attitudes and belief, our history between nations, the contention between religions, all the things that are fracturing us. Most of it we are doing on our own, by the way. The interventions are stepping back and they're letting us degrade our planet on our own. They will help us in some ways, but we are doing a great job, even if we do not get any assistance. It breaks my heart. The amount of animals now that are left that are endangered, the elephants, the lions, the tigers. When I was little, there was millions, and now there's halves of millions, and then soon they're gone. Soon the planet's trees have gone. Soon the green belt's gone. This grey sky will turn black. The pure water will be gone. Money will disappear. Credits will become available. There'll be no food, water, sunshine. We're going to have chips in us. It's looking good, guys. It's looking good. It's just what I imagined when I was a kid reading all them magazines. So the opportunity here is really that humanity has to unite to be in the greater community. And I believe there are 3 requirements to join this greater community. Self-sufficiency, 1. Unity, 2. Discretion, 3. Now, we are clearly losing our self-sufficiency at an alarming rate. We are spending tomorrow's inheritance like there was no inheritance. We are selling our children out. We are going to use up everything as fast as possible. What are we on now? Samsung 9, 8, iPhone such and such. It's just stupid what we're doing. How many cars are produced? How much waste is produced? We're using everything up as fast as possible, like there's an endless amount. Always thinking that the well will never run dry and the world is going to reshape itself to assist us with that. As we degrade the planet and change its natural balances, which have enabled the rise of the human and animal civilizations, animal populations and human civilizations. We're not at Planet of the Apes yet, but you know, there is hope. I shouldn't have said that, look. Those balances becoming imbalances can reverse this process. Imbalances and imbalances, popular thing at the minute, balances, aren't they? For more than one reason. We're talking about nature's balance here, not so much the equitable bank balance. We have to become united, not all clones of one another. Don't follow the MTV cloning situation and all these things that are making it look like each other. I want to be individual. I'm not wearing anything. Nobody's got one of these little kind of stone, whatever that is now, for Dolomonite little thing that I got from Hungary that was about £1. I wear that with pride because it's mine and I like it and it's from the earth. You know, we're not clones. You don't have to be clones. We don't have to wear that same designer label. Look at unique, cheap things and be yourself, stand out, but work together as a unit, because that's where we're at. Then our individuality will come together in that unit, like what we've got in my Facebook group that a lot of you aren't in because you don't agree with it. Hence this live update for you now, and some, you know, some meetings organised so you can get there in the flesh. Clones. We do not all have to live under one flag either. One world order, new world order. Be wary of that. But the cooperation is united, we will survive in a common unity, a community. The greater community, divided, we fall to it eventually. Yeah, that's what will happen. We'll fall to the greater community, or we stand together and we look after ourselves and we reassert ourselves and we say, we've seen what's going on, we've had enough, we're going to, you know, sort this out, and that's how we sort it out. But don't ask me about that yet. This is just the inner workings of my mind as to the questions that keep getting asked about these various topics that I mentioned at the beginning of the video 54 minutes ago. So not under one flag, united, yes, yes, yes. The greater community, divided, we fall to it eventually. And the third is discretion. We are broadcasting out into space our wars, our comedies, our news, our tragedies, absolutely everything. Whose idea was that? Fantastic again. An observer of these transmissions may never understand our true nature. Not a prayer. You start watching some of them cable channels, you know, not from Earth, and you're like trying to work out what humankind is like, what mankind and the blue marble is actually doing. Yeah, and you're not going to get the true understanding of nature from our television broadcast. You're going to get totally the opposite. But they can certainly understand our tendencies and behaviour. You know, this is going to have to stop in my mind. Free nations should not broadcast, except to each other, that are in ways that are very safely encoded, which we've got ways of doing now, open source technology, and the kernel codes that are perfectly mathematically precise. It cannot be hacked, and with algorithms from the Arab countries and lands, from the scholars there from hundreds of years ago that are running inside our software now. So that's what's happened there, you know. And they say, oh, we can't quite do that yet. Tesla was going to do it. It's just Fresco was going to do it. Did they let them do it? No. They belittled them instead. Free nations should not broadcast except to each other, yes. Unity, self-sufficiency and discretion. If we require other nations to provide our core resources here, human freedom is going to be lost. I do not care what is your political persuasion, what country you're from, or what are your religious beliefs. Put them to one side. Get that stuff and that dissonance to one side. Hear the factual side of it. What inner voices you listen to, that's the name of the game. When I talk about unity, I mean responsible management of the planet to the cessation of human conflict. World leaders, that in itself, you haven't been able, nobody's been able to do it. Look at the Gaza Strip, look at Israel, look at Palestine, look at how much we had in Ireland and Northern Ireland with the British government there. Look at all the wars, the amount that the American government and Air America bombed a place called Laos for every 8 minutes for 9 years. It's just disgusting. Do you know what I mean? The chemicals that we use, the unjust wars. Tony Blair, the trust lawyer, can't go to be held for war crimes because the Iraqi chief of staff has tried to launch a legal case to get him tried for war crimes, but the Attorney General stepped up and protected him. It's not just me talking rabble. It's actually happening in this world, on your TV, in your face. You know, so not just purely for moral or ethical reasons, but for really practical reasons. We need to protect the fresh water and the arable land. Do all this stuff or we will not have a desirable future. So now in 2017, we are taking control of our laws and our social and our ethical standings. We are not to be controlled or persuaded or have our outcomes predetermined. We see a controlling order and we see the world's children starving, going missing and being abused. Children should not need to recover from an abusive childhood. We are the keepers of our lives and the common community. We need to get together as one and stop these interventions. David of the clan, Jeremita, 1st of August, 17. Peace out. Wow. 57 minutes. I did it within 3. We've got 3 minutes to chat. Look at you. Let's take it from the top. My goodness. Easy, bro. Andy, Real Talk, fam, Rasta man, peace and love. Jarastafari. Free, okay, hi. Like the t-shirt, yes, we've covered that. Lol, Lindsay of the Stanton family. You again, Lindsay. They look like stars moving across the ley lines on a clear night, about 22:10. Yes, what are you talking about, lad? Everything and anything. Rewind this one. This is a bad boy video. It's one of the, see, where did that? It's not a bad boy video. It's a wholesome, genuine, excellent, kick-ass, 5,000 and so many word document that you'll get posted later. I'll post a link for you to read. Fukushima was a hoax, mate. What do you mean Fukushima was a hoax? Time to unite. Tell me more. Post me the links. Show me the sea is pure. New Zealand have reported, that's other side of the world to Fukushima, that they found the chemical trace element from that plant on their shoreline. So that's a real concern to me. I've stopped eating fish and having sea salt. If you're telling me it's a hoax, then them whales that have all died on the you know, shores of the last 18 months, explain that to me as well, please, and what your point is on there. I'm open to it. That's excellent if it is fake, because the world is a little bit better. I hope it is. Volcanoes are a hoax. Holocaust was a hoax. DNA in human cells are a hoax. Nukes are a hoax. North Korea, 9/11, terrorism, aliens, Satanism, Jesus, the spinning ball earth, everything you were ever told. And that's time to unite. Well, when you say hoax, we don't really say hoax. We say it's disinformation. We've been lied to. We've been tricked, yeah? We've had non-disclosure. His story is not actually accurate, is it? It's more like his story, the one that wins. Don't believe any of it. You're setting yourself up for failure. That's true. When you see an atom, not that anyone ever has seen one, true. Think of Star of David. You are not made of stars, David. No, that's true, but I'd like to say that I haven't been to space. I haven't been up there, or I haven't got the first-hand knowledge. So we go on assumptions, like in the law, and presumptions, like in the law. And we base this in life, and we look at the evidence. We try to factualize it, reference it, source it, and where we can, we make videos and do it ourselves to show all. Time to unite. Under your nose. Yes, Lindsay, that is true. 3 okay, 2 damn right. Nice one. Time to unite. The Eiffel Tower is an atmospheric energy mass. They are everywhere. Electricity was always free. They just make us pay with imaginary wealth. Tesla and Warncliffe Tower and who was it? Who was the man that bummed him? Tesla. You're all shouting it at the screen now, aren't you, as well? Warncliffe, Tesla, Edison, Faraday, Edison. Marconi, it's all coming back. Fukushima is a power plant which has plutonium, in which why cancer rates are so high. We need to get rid of all the banker, priests, governments, and mankind can create. Lindsay, yes we are. That's what we're trying to do in Sovereigns. That's why we're having these meetings. We're getting some locations up north. We've yet to find some London locations, southern locations. Devon, let me come on a holiday to Devon and chat some ramble in a field with some country bumpkins and the like. That'd be excellent. The vegan runner, great work, thank you. Poppy Rose, we're to shut down the mosques in the UK. No, you don't shut down the mosques in the UK. It's not, that's the problem. It's nothing wrong with the mosques. Well, I've got Italian, Irish, English, Greek in me. We're all people of the same planet, of the same blood, of the similar DNA. It's not that the mosques and the amims and the people there are innocent. It's the few that ruin it for the many. This is we need to get England united, black, white, you know, Asian, all of the colours, all of the people. It isn't, that's what they want you to do. So think before you go around shutting down mosques and stuff like that, because it's not nice to victimise and single out. But if people need to, if you tell me that that mosque is doing, you're telling people it's got insightful, you know, and it's doing breaking the law, then and against the brother and sisterhood of man, again, you know, natural laws, and yeah, you have to deal with it. But like anywhere you would, it doesn't just mean that. Get that mentality out of your head, though, guys, because you shouldn't be on my channel if you think like that, because that's not what we do. World War I, World War II, it's all a hoax, was just a way to move everyone around. This was a massive war, whole lot of dumb goyim, yeah. Now they are mixing the races so he can be ruled once over for all. No past ancestors, no present definitive. Yep, I agree. Just a whole lot of gays and trannies inspired by trannies who have been idolised without you knowing. Yes, they are promoting with the kids the gender trans and putting in kisses and lesbians, and that's part of the eugenics, though. That is time to unite. That's part of Agenda 21 eugenics. Look at the Red Cross, the injections that they're giving out, how much Bill Gates is giving out, what the TED Talks have to say about that. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I know you better be well researched on that, because if they're all assumptions, they're very accurate ones. Excuse me. Well, why so many wild sea are found dead every day on the shores of the Pacific Ocean? True. Life, sea life. Ice cream, Dave, how's it going? I don't know what that means. Billions of animals are killed every week so their souls can be shoved into your guts to give you cancer and a shizen spirit. Don't be worried about a few sprinkled animals along a coastline. Well, that's obviously spoken by. Time to unite. You need to get more more chilled. I feel your pain, I feel your frustration. Do you think I don't want to come and make videos and shout, swear? And I posted a post earlier in Sovereigns, and it's about a policeman who's saying that people that report paedophiles, yeah, shouldn't be, the paedophiles that are just viewing the images shouldn't be investigated because it's taken up too much police time and rarely leads to much of a conviction. Now, I did that. I posted it in Sovereigns and I said, anybody that's going to comment on this, you are not allowed to swear. I said, this post is going to upset you. I want you to remain reserved. I want you to remain controlled, and I want you not to swear, and I want you to give me your input on this horrific post. I've put that, and I'm training. We are training, but I am initially this different outset. Yes, we feel the anger, but we channel it into a positive way. I know it sounds far-fetched, but it really works. You're going to end up ill with all this anger. I'm telling you now. There are no capital letters. You're shouting, look. There are no cells. CERN is no more real than a rocket. Well, this is all interpretation and beliefs. You see how I word myself very carefully. You are shouting and making statements, which you're allowed to do, but shouting, once you shout, tells me that you've lost control. I don't want to make an enemy of anybody. I'm just trying to help out and give my personal interpretation and opinion, as I'm allowed to do on my channel and my video of which you're commenting on. You have come to me, remember. I haven't come to you. It is all, well, it's all to do with Chernobyl and Fukushima, yeah, poisons and things like that, and chemicals and glycerins and nitroses and aluminiums and metals and, wow, yeah, it just goes on, doesn't it? The water and the fluoride and the metallic, what did they put in there of good measure? Mercury fillings, thanks for that. Just goes on. You think, oh, stop smoking. What's the point? What is the point of stopping smoking? I've tried so many times, and then I think I'm still being poisoned by everything. Even if you buy organic vegetable from your supermarket, it's probably been fed with crap. It's probably been genetically modified. There's just no way out of it. We don't get angry. We don't get nasty. Time to unite. We aren't believing anything. We're believing ourselves through our knowledge and our wisdom and our history. And if you haven't looked at my channel and my videos, you know what we've done. Meditation is meditation and education with a little determination, subtle observation, master the breath. The chi is the key. Fantastic. Rasta again, 13. Respect. I am trying to leave this control state system free. Okay, well done. Keep up with it. Andy W. Who's at the root of the system? We've answered that in this video. If you haven't got that by now, you never will, and I can't say it again. Rewind time selector. Time to unite. The Illuminati, the Great Pyramid was the atmospheric energy control mass. Why do you think it's on the dollar bill? Well, again, interpretation. I'm going to be travelling to the Pyramid of Bosnia, the Pyramid of the Sun, very soon. That's apparently the world's largest pyramid. More to come on pyramids. They are my favourite. We can talk about them. I might do a special video on pyramids, live stream or something. We can have a go on that. Jessica Rankin, I'm off for a bottle of wine, aka Buckfast. Oh, well, I see you. You're up the north end. It's terrible accent, Jimmy. Buckfast. They sell that in Zante. When I went to Zante years ago, there was shelves and shelves and shelves of it. I was with a man from Glasgow, Gavin Marks, DJing, and wow, yeah, very fortified. Speaking of fortified nations, fortified wines. I like it. Tedious Link. The Vatican controls your unum sanctum. Yes, it does. I was thinking of Pope Boniface, something face. Yeah, my brain's clogging now because I've overloaded it. But bonum sanctum, unum sanctum, Pope Boniface. Yeah, something. 1603, soul, body and property, what they stole. Papal bull claiming ownership of everything and everyone. True. Yeah, we know about them. They're true. He who claims must prove. Yep. Proof of claim. Claims unrebutted stand. Unrebutted claims stand in their system, but not our system. Andy W, yes. James Funk, no notice to no contract. Yeah, non-disclosure. It's done fraudulently. All on this flat earth. Simbo. Who do you think will win, Conor McGregor or Floyd Mayweather on the 26th of August? Fantastic again, but you know what? We're just going to laugh at that. I'm more interested in the Grand Prix But Jesse Rankin, excellent. What shape is a soap bubble? Round, I think. Yeah. Don't start getting lateral thinking on me, because we could be here for weeks, man. Weeks. They should just hung it out. McGregor to win. Hi-oh, do you look at your chart? Yes. When your body is running like a sports car, it's to optimum level. You will be amazed what the body can do. Yes, I'm on about it. I'm on it, Rasta, now. Hi, McGregor to win. McGregor, yes. You guys, what have I missed? Fuck all. Stop swearing, Jesse. Oh, well, back to the TV then. Jesus Jones. All right. It's all right. Each to their own. Why are you on my channel then? Unsubscribe from me. That's what I mean. Jesus Jones, Jesse Rankin. Yeah. And I've got peace and love for everybody, and I've got no hate. I am the change I want to be. But you might as well leave my channel if it's not interesting. That's a BBC saying, if ever propaganda was heard. Yes, James Funk. I'm going for a bottle of wine. What about the IRA? Yeah, enjoy the wheat in bottles of wine. Yum, yum. It's Buckfast. IRA was run by British government. That's big claims there, James Funk. I remember it. I remember Sinn Féin and all that. Everybody. No, Andy Exall, go away. Disturbing me. No, brother. Shut down mosques again at the end. Jesus Jones. And churches. Well, yeah, for the implications, I might have jumped the gun there, because I'm not used to everybody trying to be hateful to, you know, non-indigenous races of the land masses. But if you are on about the deception and whatever's going off with them, and the teachings and the way that they are fraudulently going about things and preaching about things that aren't actual fact, then I am with you. Yeah, it's doing more damage than good. I've just posted today that they're holding Bible church sessions in the White House, and that's about as comforting as Henry Kissinger going around having a wander and you know, helping himself, because he's a war criminal from what happened in the Vietnam, and what Agent Orange and things like that, what he did. And I'm going back to Laos and Air America. You see, it's all there. It's, you know, prove it all. I'm not hating, mate. Jesse Rankin. All right then, no problem. Jesus Jones, it was a joke. I don't often live chat. I don't find it comfortable, guys. It's nice to be able to sit back, record it, and then have it all prepared, and then delete it if I make a mistake, or if I say a massive word of 7 syllables that I've never said before, and my cognitive dissonance won't let me get it out. So live speaking, I do it quite a bit now. I'm getting over the fear. I'm getting over the haters and the trolls, and we're moving on. Churches are on ley lines. Yes, they are. So we give our power away to the earth grid. What energy are we giving away? We give our way energy, discharge. Yours put in a cell. When you go to the police station, you have your charges discharged. Yes, you have currency. You are in the sea of the current. So you have well commented there, Jesus Jones, about the energy and the ley lines and the pyramids, which was coming from the other guy, the angry man. You are seeing the connection with everything, and as we find the connections with it, we will tell you and we will prove it. So you are right. They have battles on ancient monuments, and they'll knock it down and they'll rebuild upon that to say, haha, your God, what you had and your institution is now ours. Probably that lot's done the same similar thing on graveyards. And I do believe the Queen sits on some stone of scone. Yes, and somebody's head was cut off and it was in another country and it came down to here. And just for symbology, it's nothing more, I promise you, that stone is put there and she sits on that because it's a pretty stone, you know. It's got nothing more to do with, you know, any kind of ancient mythology or the powers that be or invested in them, or, you know, this spiritual stuff that I've included with the aliens and the monarchy and the intervention and the allies and the knowledge and the Buddha and the Christ and the powers of influence and the art of war and the you know, the resource-based economy and the depletion of things, the poisoning of the planet. It seems like it's going on to me. Yeah, it seems like it's happening. I can't see much good, and I can't see much way out of this other than these video chats and us meeting up locally, getting in your own area and meeting up, doing pop-up meetings like I put on the video for the Facebook feedback from the seminar and getting your own ideas, finding people that have got businesses, people that are in charities that will be able to help, that can offer premises, that can give you money, that will donate, get an open bank set up, that's got some trustees, look at what trusts are, set up your own local trust, get people to, you know, help you write your declarations. We'll help you with that. You put stuff in as the res, you have a board of trustees, you know what I mean, that do as they're told, look after the money, you have the settler, and then you have the beneficiaries. It's simple. You all think that trusts are very complicated, but they're not. It's the simplest thing that you could ever do. It's just proving that it exists is the tricky part, and we know how to do that. So you can protect your property, yourselves, the alleged money, which we call cash for the time being. You can set up pop-up meetings. You can find people with venues. You can join our meetings in England that are in the Midlands and the North coming on. The next one's on the 2nd of September. It's going to be in B11, Bravo 11. We are limiting it to 100 people. You don't need to travel the country to come and see us and network. What you need to do is weekly or monthly meetings like we'll do in cities, London, Manchester, Sheffield, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Ireland, Wales, various places. And then every quarter what we'll do is aim to meet up. We'll get some vans, find a benefactor that's got, you know, a big business, or an entrepreneur, or someone that's like, I know the imams and the people in the mosques, they obviously help out in the communities massively. The churches, they don't help out in the communities so massively, do they? No, you see, and the mosques are bad, aren't they? Yes, and they can't teach us anything. Well, you know, word to the wise, we're finding out different about a lot of things and the teachings and the religions. So you need to look for yourself, treat everybody as you would yourself, and show love and show understanding. Thank you for the support. Thank you for your following. All the sessions, the meetings are going to be recorded live, and you know, those of you that can make a fake or standard, we'll say generic Facebook account, come and find us in Sovereign Paralegals, have a chat with us if you want, and the sooner we get off that domain, the better. We have built a website. I've spent 110 quid and built something that doesn't work with GoDaddy. It doesn't serve its purpose. It is an immediate backup for now if Facebook was to disappear. So we've got somewhere, but I need to look at a free chat page. Anyone's got any ideas? We've put it to the Facebook family. Instead of paying for another website, you'd leave that one there. https://sovereignparalegals.uk, and then I could attach the web chat thing to that, the forum. So we'll see, but give me your ideas. Thank you, Jesus Jones, nice one, brother. If you're a brother, I don't know with that name. Lindsay, peace and love to you. Thank you, sister. Andy W, dismissal. Was that your door there? No. 20 years of David Icke and Freeman. I'm well clued up. Yeah, David Icke, he doesn't offer any solutions though, does he? Jesus Jones is great. He sells out Wembley. He makes an absolute killing. He writes books. He publishes. He's got merchandise. He's on the TV. He's on all the networks. He's out there. He's finding out about Bilderbergs. He's finding out about the secret, you know, conventions. He's going around telling that lizard people are running Buckingham Palace, and he's not stopped from doing that. I'm referring myself from how I talk about these for fear of the, you know, the inciting and the hatred and the legal realm that will come to manage me and my legal person. You know, as the man I can say what I want, but the system doesn't recognise the man. So therefore I say I operate in private. I am operating in private, but the system doesn't recognise that. So David Icke operates in the public, goes around scaring everybody, doesn't give any answers. It's fantastic amount of information. He stops right there on the edge. You just want to see what's over the top of the hill. What is it? Have we got that? You know, no, you'll never get there. It's just, for me, that's no good. It's no good at all. I loved him, and then I went away from him because I couldn't see. He was giving me all this stuff, and I had to find it out. And look, I found most of it out myself now. I'd go to Wembley and stand toe-to-toe with David Icke 2 years after finding him, not 20 years. No insult to you. But that's why I'm indigo child, because I have ADHD as a child and my mental capacity to do stuff is different to yours. So I think I could competently stand in front of David Icke now and just go toe to toe. Let's have it out. I wouldn't accept that. This isn't an open challenge. We're not boxing, but in, you know, man to man, mano a mano. Yeah, the gauntlet laid down, and truth be known, at the end of the night, when the music stops playing and the lights come on, boom, Oh, I'm telling you, even we're not. That's enough of him. He's wasted enough time. And such as Alex Jones as well. While we're on the subject of disinformation and people with wicked amounts of information, there's David Icke, there's Alex Jones that I was loving, and then I just thought, I see what's happening here. And then there was another one as well. There's a third one. GoDaddy CEO shot an elephant. Shut up. GoDaddy CEO shot an elephant. GoDaddy, you can't have. Show me evidence. Paste me the link. Right, I cancel my contract and demand my money back because that is against my ethics, 100%. I've just done this video to prove it. So I will take that corporation down and cancel it then. I will say, you owe me because your CEO has shot an elephant. It's Russell Brand. No bother, you could go toe to toe, try making it on the 26th. Jesse Rankin. No. Who was the other one now? Who is that other person? David Icke. Jesse Ventura. Yes. And Alex Jones. They're great, but they do more harm than good, in my belief. When we bring you something, we tell you the despair, we tell you the horror, we tell you the fact, we give you the source, we reference it on video, we show you the phonetics, the language, the history, the battle, the kings. We're getting good at it now, and most of it's here to recite. If it's not, we'll direct you to it. So, you know, it doesn't need toe-to-toe. We've already got accomplishment and we're already getting where we need to go. So thank you very much for all of your comments. I need to go now because time is getting on. I didn't think we'd go on this long. You're actually making me waffle. Pop-ups, meetings, yeah, cafes, shops, anywhere where it's got a shop that's on a street, that's maybe a cafe even as well, not pubs because they involve alcohol and they just detract from it all. Yeah, and you go there on a Sunday or even a Saturday if they're closed, and you just do a pop-up, yeah, if the weather's nice. On a common, you don't need permission or licenses. I'm going down to Tutbury on Sunday. Okay, the church always has a fund collecting for repairs. Yes, it does. The church doesn't pay any tax either. It's also the richest organisation on the planet. I stay away from that establishment. And the motu proprio, go and have a look at that, what they've done now. Yeah, it's great, but it's a bit too late, isn't it? The churches have to be gotten rid of. Albert Pike's World War III. Communism is replacing Christianity. That is provable in America. Wow, is that where you are? Probably. I can believe that. GoDaddy CEO. Oh, no. How will that work with YouTube? What, Jesse? It's Russell Brand. Did Russell Brand shoot the elephant? Andy W. James, is that comment from that? You could go toe to toe. I could, yeah. It's coming. Making it. What's happening on the 26th of August? I'm on holiday 4th till the 18th. I'm back at work. I have Saturday, Sunday off. If that's a Saturday, there's a chance I'll come down. Tell me more. Yep, that's coming from his second in command. You can Google story. You can't post links in this chat. Google that story. Alright, I will. What do you mean? It's a video. It'll be on after, at the end of the video. When I've published the video. There you go. Remember. Right, yes, fantastic, brilliant. I'll give you the link. I might Dropbox the actual document with all that I've just read out to you. My problem is this is going to have to be used for the people on the other platforms, because when you post a document of that size, they find it overwhelming and it can't be digested easily, and the audio commentary to it or when they're reading it will help out. Peace, love and light. Thank you very much. It's been emotional. Ciao.